Welcome to a wrap-up of round 11 in Pro D2, which takes a week off now. A little bit of a break, but I'll tell you what, it's given us the memory of some absolute crackers. And let's start our roundup of round 11 at Carcassonne, who welcomed Valence Roman. And the visitors, well, it was they who raced out to an early lead through the boot of fly half Lucas Mire, a lead which was extended after putting the boot to ball in open play. And the shape of that rugby ball, it can bounce anywhere, as Louis Saoud found out he was the beneficiary of a wicked bounce for his third try of the season. Carcassonne are fighting for every point at the bottom of the table, and even 22-0 down, kept on, eventually scoring their first try on 46 minutes through Fabien Laurenzon. And centre Louis Maroux received the last pass in this lovely execution from Valence. Beautiful handling, and Maroux with his fourth try in as many games. But Carcassonne were not done yet. A high hanging kick, brilliantly gathered by Tutavuli. The boot of Lucas Mire was ultimately the difference between the two sides. Valence only scored 2 tries on the night, but Mire scored 22 points himself. But Carcassonne battled, fought right to the end, and got themselves a losing bonus point through hooker Baptiste Moreno. Fittingly, it was Lucas Mire's boot which ended the contest. And a good win on the road for Valence Roman. Also towards the foot of Pro D2, Aurillac, who welcomed Aix-en-Provence. The away side went to town at scrum time for the first score on 20 minutes through number 8 Malohi Suta. 8 minutes later, it was another set piece, a line out this time. Dominance from the home side on this occasion. Control as they reset the maul. And it was flanker Tim de Jong who crossed the whitewash. Aurillac had a lead, and they had their sails up as well, winning the contacts and scoring again through scrum half Delarue. And when Aurillac bust loose on 58 minutes, countering from a deep kick, and eventually after some brilliant handling, sending in AJ Kurtzen to the line, it looked like Aurillac were heading for a victory, and a badly needed one as well. The response in the final quarter was so impressive from Provence. First, power from Lino Julien. Then it was simple hands from the middle of the field to the left for Sione Tui. And finally, to complete the comeback, it was composure from fullback Leo Drouet, who received this missed pass to the edge and managed to score over the covering defenders. Just like Scotland against Argentina, Aurillac had blown a 21-point lead in the final quarter of the match. That one will sting, but could be a catalyst for Provence. Agen against Oyonnax now. And it was a tight opening 15 minutes that saw the first try wrestled, eventually, just across the line by Agen winner Louis Dupichot. Oyonnax showed the value of forwards with handling skills. 1 pod running to the line, 2 offloads to break it, and a third to send in winger Gavin Stark, his 3rd try in 4 appearances this season, and a real danger coming off his wing. Agen looked to the pack for inspiration, and former Newcastle and Argentine hooker Santi Cecino was guided all the way to the line. An opportunistic move down the left flank from Oyonnax now. And again, lovely handling out of contact, which bust open the Agen defences and sent in replacement scrum half Jonathan Ruru. A 3-point game heading into the final 10 minutes, and a moment of inspiration from Meylan Rabat, with the defence closing him down, a nudge over the top, and Eddie Sawelu to put Oyonnax ahead. A lead they clung onto for a crucial win away from home. Béziers against Brive. 13th place in Pro D2 was below par for Béziers coming into this, but 8th for Brive, even further behind expectations. And when Pierre Courteau ran over a Brive opponent for the first score, seeds of doubt may have been setting in for the visitors. Check out this footwork here from Durand Covort. And not only his pace, but the pace of number 8, Otanuku Pauta. And then who else to finish it off but Portuguese maestro Samuel Marques. His 8th try of the season in 11 appearances from scrum half. A talisman. And Brive are self-imploding, it seems. And the bounce is not even going their way, summed up in this moment. The officials went to the replay to see if Béziers had managed to ground the ball. And what they found, in fact, was that the ball was deliberately knocked out of play by Brive centre Nick Crone, thereby preventing a likely score. Crone got a yellow card, Béziers got a penalty try. 25-17, and enough worry at Brive for rumours of coaching changes to intensify. Mont-de-Marsan against Angoulême. These are two sides that can bust things open in attack, but to be honest, in this match they cancelled each other out. Penalties only until 75 minutes, when Mont-de-Marsan were pickpocketed close to Angoulême's 22. And in a similar moment to the Brive match we just watched, the ball was deliberately knocked out of play. And as with the previous match, that led to the only and decisive try in the match, a penalty try again and a yellow card. And most importantly, as a result, a win for Soyou Angoulême. Biarritz had 4 wins on the bounce coming into this one, but Dax had registered 2 recent wins at home themselves and were off the bottom of Pro D2. But the chances of 5 wins in a row for the home side were strengthened when Biarritz hooker Clement Martinez rode them all, which got backs involved as well, all the way to the try line. And another set maul. And it was another try, same result. A try for Martinez came 10 minutes later. 7 tries for him this season, and more importantly, a 13-6 lead in a tight game after half an hour. But Dax have shown massive spirit, starting the season with a 5-point deduction, fighting back off the foot of the table, and a clean break through the forwards eventually led to centre Vatabua scoring to give Dax the lead. A deep kick from Dax then caused chaos in the backfield, and even more than that, as it turned out, when the officials looked at the replay, there had been an off-the-ball shot from Kylian Jaminet, the Biarritz fullback, who received a second yellow and therefore orange card for his trouble. And Dax used the extra man with former Leicester Tigers prop Nefi Leotiganga muscling his way to the line, referee inspecting it and eventually giving it. And then to crown a rare and precious away win, Romel Segui nailed a long-range drop goal. Eat your heart out, George Ford. Dax weren't done. Dino Casadei, another of Dax's big men, punched a hole in the tired Biarritz defence for an impressive 18-33 final score. Colomiers were second in the table heading into this one, but Nevers also in the playoff hunts themselves. The visitors were ahead after the opening quarter, but when Colomiers need a moment, it quite often comes from their Aussie number 8, Caleb Timu. And Timu left more defenders on the floor, staring up at him, running over them to score again. The game was already done and Colomiers in full flow when Matthias Odachuk gathered from this kick and ghosted his way round under the posts. And then check this out for a potential try of the season. Colomiers brave enough and have the skills enough to let rip from inside their own 22. Wonderful hands. Interplay, support, players flooding through. Passes inside, passes outside, forwards, backs, and Odachuk again, finishing a memorable score. Our live game was played in front of a record 30,000 sellout in Rennes. Vannes had switched from their usual home ground for a Sunday night special, and the crowd had plenty to cheer when Simon Augry snuck over after Vannes had set up camp in Grenoble's 22. More patience and more power when skipper Joe Edwards, who went off injured later in the game, hope he's well, he got under the visitors' defenders to press home the advantage. The result was sealed on 73 minutes when Michael Ruru, the powerful and impressive scrum half, sniped around a little gap on the edge, fended off, and went over for try number 3 for Vannes. Grenoble had a chance of a losing bonus point but had 100 metres to go and the clock was in the red, so they cashed in their chips and accepted a 28-18 defeat. What an amazing occasion. Just shows the strength of Pro D2. And there are the results for week 11. Colomiers looking commanding, staying with Vannes at the top of Pro D2. Provence's fight back continues and gets them into the top 4. And Oyonnax, after a rocky start, are into the top half of the table. At the bottom, Dax move up to 14th and wins for them. Béziers and Angoulême above them leave Mont-de-Marsan and Carcassonne in 15th and 16th respectively. A rest week now for Pro D2, a chance for Brive to hit reset and a massive game when Pro D2 returns for round 12 as they host Colomiers. Dax against Mont-de-Marsan looks significant at the bottom, and Valence versus Nevers in the playoff hunt bun fight. As I say, we are back with live rugby every game week, 27th of November, Brive against Colomiers. We'll see you then.